this video, ZA is going to be sketching, doing a lot of sketching in ZA's sketchbook, as well as talk about how ZA goes about creating loose and free people. Loose and free in terms of like the art style and not hyper realism. So let's get into it. ZA is here at church. Daniel is in a meeting, and so ZA is here. Sorry, haven't done a horizontal video in a long time. So, what do you call it? There is a very high possibility that the church is going to have this building demolished and put like affordable housing on this plot of land and stuff. And so everyone is freaking out about that and everything. But aside from that, ZA has noticed in the almost 4 years of being here that the artwork of the church that is here, like the building, it's always artwork of the building from the outside, because this building has been here for maybe 75 years. And so it also has a chapel attached to it, so when you look at it from the outside, it looks like two gigantic arms reaching out for a hug, which is really pretty. But that is like the only that's like the only artwork of the building. And so ZA was like, well, a building is more than just what it looks like on the outside. It's about the memories from the inside as well. And this building has a lot of rooms. So ZA brought it up with Daniel, who is the transitional minister here. ZA brought it up with them about doing artwork of the different rooms and stuff. And Daniel was like, that's a great idea, because no one is really thinking about that at this particular moment. But when the building is gone, ZA feels that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, if only I had artwork of the nursery. Remember what we used to do in the nursery? Remember what we used to do with the parlor? There's no other room like the parlor. Or how about that mural in Pathfinders? Or how about that whole wall of Jerusalem where the band meets up and rehearses at? So this building is very special, which is the vibe that ZA has been getting. And so ZA wants to be able to take those memories and put it in art form. And ZA's friend Lee, who volunteers at Chalice Thrift, she is off on her summer vacation right now. She suggested turning it into a book in addition to having like actual paintings for sale. So ZA is thinking about doing that via Shutterfly. Anyway, bringing all this up because ZA wants to show you what ZA is currently sketching, because we are definitely still in the sketching phase. So right here, what ZA has is, let's get you in better light. ZA, today after church, ZA took quite a few photos of our chapel. The chapel is different than our sanctuary in that it's basically just like a mini sanctuary, but Unity Fellowship worships there Sundays at noon. And so ZA got to snap photos of the chapel, and we're going to be doing a couple sketches of the chapel. This is obviously where like the big cross is, and where the pastor stands at, and where communion is taken at and stuff. And so ZA added, there's a piano there, so that's what that is. And this blue streak here is actually an archway, and the light was just hitting it so beautifully that ZA had to add it. And this little area here, it's like a nook, and there's a window behind it, hence the blue light. And that's up there, that's light and stuff. And the chalice with the cross in it is the symbol of First Christian Church. And there's a chair here, that's where the bread and the cup goes. And ZA has to add the like stand-in thing where the pastor preaches or whatever and stuff. This here is another sketch of a room in the church. So there is like a gender neutral bathroom here, and so like there's this like small little room that is in front of that particular bathroom, and it's got this really nice old style furniture and stuff. And so ZA sketched it out because ZA was like, why is this room here? But it even has a thank you for not smoking sign, so maybe it was added as like a dress room for weddings or something. But ZA got home from church a little bit ago. Sorry, ZA still getting reused to the horizontal format. CA did finish that one sketch of the chapel. CA will show that to you right now. Not a lot has changed, just added the little stand thingy that the pastor speaks at. Oh, got headphones on. New development. CA for the last like maybe 2 months has been using active noise canceling headphones, and they are a game changer. This was a gift from Miss Cindy, because ZA has a very hard time with crowded places because of loud noises. So the headphones, Miss Cindy got ZA headphones, and ZA was just like, oh my gosh, where have these been all of ZA's life? Because like ZA really could have used them at high school to block out all the things the bullies were saying about ZA. Another thing ZA has been working on is wait, where is the center of the screen? Is artist 8 trading cards, ACEOs, and selling them through ZA's Ko-Fi shop because ZA's website is under construction. So let's show you the ACEOs. One of them's not done though. A lot of people have told ZA that they don't have room on their walls for larger pieces of art. So this solves that problem too. And who doesn't love trading cards? And these are made by like ZA used ZA's own handmade paper and made them. This one in the middle is not done yet though. But as you can see, there is the seahorse with glow in the dark accents. Still working on making the glow in the dark accents very intense. But this one's really, really cute. Very colorful and bright and stuff. And this here is a jellyfish. This one is actually ZA's second attempt at the jellyfish card, because you can kind of see it down here actually, ZA's signature and stuff, and the remnants of the old jellyfish. ZA did not like that jellyfish very much and completely put away this card and stuff, because ZA was so dissatisfied with it. But now we like the new jellyfish. Looks way better. And this is an axolotl. And ZA just thinks he might be the most popular one. because everyone loves axolotls. It's like a weird thing that ZA saw sort of like blow up in like pet tube and whatnot, as he's got like glow in the dark accents too. But ZA's still working with the glow in the dark paint to make sure it like glows, like really glows. But one thing that ZA did do last year, which was like a mega accomplishment, was ZA learned how to make paper by hand. And in that process, ZA made a lot of sheets of paper. They don't feel like paper though, they're kind of like slabs. And so ZA is using them in like all different kinds of ways and stuff. And ZA really likes them, and ZA did it completely by hand from start to finish. It was insane. And now one of ZA's friends donated a blender for next time, and another friend donated a paper electric paper shredder. And ZA is so happy about that, but living in this living situation, ZA can't like really do that sort of thing. So Miss Jennifer is having ZA test out these two artist markers. They're two different brands. So we're gonna test those out. ZA also got a colorless blender. The colorless blender, someone had donated a bunch of like art supplies at the thrift store that ZA volunteers at, and so ZA got to pick and choose what ZA wanted and stuff. It's always nice to thrift art supplies. It was on its way to Scraplanta, so ZA intercepted it, and so now ZA's got some other goodies to try out, but some of it's just restocks or different kinds of paint or whatever. But we're gonna try out these markers because the Chalice Thrift Ladies put a marker pad in ZA's shoebox, mailbox, and so we gotta test it on marker paper. This is the pad of paper that was in ZA's mailbox. ZA has never heard of this brand before, but ZA wants to try it out because it's all ZA has. Generally, when ZA starts off with drawing people, ZA tries to get their hair first, because everyone has like a typical hairstyle that they wear, and the way someone's hair shapes on around their face also lets people know who know them well and know them for that hairstyle. It's easier for them to recognize that person. In this case, ZA is drawing Miss Cindy, and she has a really nice bob type of haircut thing. And so ZA started with that. It's a very pronounced, very thick bob type of hair, and she also has a round face, and ZA is drawing her from memory because ZA hadn't seen her in a while. But if you can get the shape of the head as well as the typical hairstyle that a person wears or has, then 9 times out of 10 people who know that person, so like family, friends, loved ones, they're going to recognize that person. Also, people wear clothes, so everyone has their own sense of style. So if you can get something related to the type of clothes that they wear, whether it be the specific cut of a dress or specific patterns or what kind of sports that they are fans of, if you can, like, you know, in case of sports, like draw them in like the sports jersey of the team they represent kind of thing. that also builds that connection of like, this is who that person is. And it makes the person feel good when they see the portrait, if you choose to show it to them, of course. So with those things in mind, you also have to understand that the way ZA draws people is very, very loose. ZA is using a Pentel color brush pen, and the tips of the brush are frayed, and ZA used to not like that, but ZA loves it now because it makes everything wonky. Whenever you're sketching like this without the whole like anatomical skeleton underneath and stuff, you really just have to go with your gut, and you get more confident with the more people you draw when you're drawing them from life or whatever. ZA prefers to draw them in the waiting room when ZA is waiting for therapy. And that's really how ZA started getting confidence in ZA's people drawing, because people are not, the majority of people are not symmetrically balanced. Everyone has like an active side that's more sharp and a passive side that's more relaxed. If you look at people head on, as long as they don't have like a bunch of Botox or whatever, you'll see that side. Kind of like how people, like ZA's eyes, one of them is slightly larger than the other. So there are things like that. Like, we're not perfectly copy paste one side to the other. So with that in mind, you don't fret over one eye looking the way you want and the other eye looking different or bigger or smaller, because at the end of the day, that person's eyes might be slightly askew, and ZA's eyes are also slightly off balance, but that's because of the really awful car wreck ZA was in at 4 years old. So ZA's whole face, whatever, you all care about that. So just try it. Use a pen, because you can't erase with a pen. ZA wanted to use this brush pen because ZA is now obsessed with it and stuff. So those are ZA's really big people tips. If y'all want a more comprehensive guide, let ZA know. ZA would love to break it down fully of how to make wonky looking people and stuff, both real people and imaginary people. So thank you for watching this part of the video, and let ZA know if this helped you at all. We went to Dress for Success today in Sandy Springs, so we had a little field trip, as ZA got some really pretty clothes. ZA will have to show them to you tomorrow because ZA is real tired now, but ZA did do some sketching and wanted to like show you dubs that, as well as progress on the Jellyfish ACEO. This is actually it's a blank paged notebook, but this cover was made by, she works at the church, her name is Jean, and she does bookbinding, and so Lee bought this for CA at like a yard sale that Jean was having, and it's just so pretty. CA likes that it's quilted fabric. So this is like what CA was working on for a long time. So Sandy Hester often talks about what she calls build a scene, where if you're in a car or something and you're not driving, obviously, you look out and observe the different like buildings or hills or whatever, and you create your own scene based on all of that. So CA really likes it because it helps you look at buildings. And CA saw this one lady with this really pretty, like bluish, purplish dress on that was very flowy and stuff. And so CA put her in there. And it's funny because she's taller than some of the buildings. So she's like a monster woman. And CA saw this like stark black building, and it had vote on it as well as other pictures, and thought that was pretty cool. This is a house that CA saw one time, like yesterday. And it looked kind of like a Tudor house mixed with an adobo house. And so CA wanted to put that in there. And of course, we went through the heart of Atlanta, and so we saw the pencil building and the eraser building. CA saw this really pretty building because it's got those like iron pipe thingies where smoke comes out, and it's like a tower. And then we got this building where it's like it's a very reflective building, and it's got all these little like reflected windows, and then it had this weird shape in the middle, and this shape was also has the little window thingies, but CA likes it that it's a solid shape in the picture. Here, these two buildings, they're like sibling buildings that CA saw when we made it past the Sandy Springs city limit. This one is more square-like, but this building was more round-like, and they have this beautiful like bluish color that CA tried to capture a color pencil. As a whole, it turns into like a whole city scene. And then we have when we made it to Dress for Success, and we had a little bit of downtime because uh, they could only do 3 dress fittings at a time. So one of the ladies here saw this beautiful water fountain out the window, and CA just had to sketch it. CA started with just sketching with just pencil and what do you call it, colored pencil. But the reason why ZA doesn't use pencil a lot is because in books it smears. But Hello Alice did a video where if you put watercolor on top of pencil, it won't smear anymore, and that's really helpful. So ZA use gouache because that's like watercolor's cousin, and made sure that everything was covered because ZA doesn't want it to smear. And it looked so pretty. It was one of those waterfalls where it was like not blue water, but this was the best way to illustrate that it was water. But it was water that just sort of like showered down on these slab thingies and into a like small pool of these brown rocks. If you enjoyed this video, then please donate to ZA's Ko-Fi account. Link is down below, as well as on the screen. And please like, comment, share, subscribe to this video. And as always, ZA hopes you get some arting done today.